Coming up,
we want the stretch to be efficient but not overwhelming.
this is assisted stretching. Stretching on your own is great, but assisted could add even more benefits and some you won't be able to achieve on your own. These are bowls that can be made into anything from healthy post-workout meals to a sweet treat on a hot day.
All that and more is today on SoFlo Health.
Hello and welcome to SoFlo Health. We're at Beyond Billiards today. I'm Hunter Frankie and this is Tony. And you may remember Tony from a recent episode of SoFlo Health where he gave us some tips to improve our billiards game. And today we're just going to answer some questions while we have a good time. So keep watching SoFlo Health.
It's so hot. Why do I wear pants today? Might as well work on this construction site. I need a little something. But what? Maybe this will do it.
This is Roxanne, and she is the owner of Pliables here in Midtown Miami. Roxanne, thanks for being here.
Of course, thanks for coming.
We've got all of these beautiful bowls in front of us, and we just saw how they're made. Tell me, what are we looking at?
Oh, so you are looking at 8 of the 9 bowls that we make. So a lot of people typically think acai. Acai is one of our many bowls that we do. Is made with over 70% pulp, and by the time it comes to you, it is never older than 21 days. So very, very pure.
Is that something that separates you from other places that are selling something similar?
Yeah, for sure. So if you think about vanilla or chocolate where there's different grades, acai has different grades too. So our grade is the top grade.
Something I find interesting about what you've been sharing so far is you know where everything came from. Is that important to you to know the source of what you're serving?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think of us as an international place, right? So we have Brazil, we have Nicaragua, we have Thailand. Our coconuts are made from Thai coconut meats. Even our mango base comes from the Alfonso mango in India.
Well, I'm gonna taste this one here.
Pitaya or dragon fruit, known as the same thing. A little bit of crunch, a little bit of sweet.
Oh yeah.
And very refreshing, right?
It is very refreshing. Who's welcome here?
Everybody. We have lots of options for vegan and vegetarians, people looking for a healthier diet, or maybe people who just want that late night sweet indulgence.
For those that are out there saying, this looks great, I want to know more, how can they?
Of course. So they can go to pliables.com, or even better, they can follow us on Instagram at Pliables Miami Midtown.
Great. Roxanne, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm gonna chill on the oatmeal and I'm gonna enjoy this.
Great. I'm so happy. Bowl full of happiness.
A common question people have, and one I certainly had, is, Tony, how much chalk do I use and when do I chalk?
I always recommend that you chalk up before each and every single shot, because most people don't know or have any idea how much chalk actually comes off the tip after just one shot. So the proper way to chalk is to make sure, this is my preference, everyone has a preference, I chalk from the edge of the tip to the top of the tip, just like this, and then I spin my cue stick slowly as I go along, so that way I apply the chalk evenly throughout. Then once I feel that I've covered everything, I'm ready to shoot.
All right. More quick tips from Tony, and not from me, just Tony, as you keep watching SoFlo Health. We're in Publix, and this is Lindsay. Today we want to talk about our Food for Thought initiative and thank Publix for being a part of it. If you're not aware, Food for Thought is the Local 10 initiative that helps fight food insecurity across South Florida and throughout the community, whether that's directly or by just helping information get out there to the right people, or helping with nonprofits who already have those infrastructures in place to be able to put the action out into the community, and we weren't able to do that without Publix. So Lindsay, thank you so much. Why is Food for Thought important to Publix?
Yeah, so at Publix, as a food retailer, we believe we can make the greatest impact in the food, in alleviating hunger.
And of course, there's nothing but food. Well, there's more things than food, but there's a lot of food here at Publix, but not everybody has access to them.
Right.
And you're able to partner with us, especially last year, for lots of different ways to get it out in the community. What are some of those examples?
Yeah, so Feeding America actually says 1 in 7 people are food insecure. And that's why it's so important for us to get out in the community and get involved in things like Food for Thought. So last year, we went out to, for example, Broward College. Even at colleges now, they have food pantries. There are needs even there. And so we went out, we packed bags with products that are high need to college students, and we sent those out right there at their food pantry.
Wow, it's lovely to be able to directly affect those in need.
Absolutely.
And to be able to see it as well in the community, and for them to see Publix and for Local 10 to be a part of that as well, that we're here to support each other and especially those that need it most.
Absolutely. And like you said, not just food pantries, but we also go out to schools. We pack bags at different organizations, and we try to get those high need items into the hands of students and into their backpacks and home with them.
Yeah.
And we are happy to be part of this with you. We're happy to be involved in Food for Thought for so long, and we're looking forward to another great year getting out in the community and getting involved.
Lindsay, thank you so much. If you want to find out more about Food for Thought and our partnership with Publix, you can do so at local10.com.
Still ahead, a visit to the dermatologist and how assisted stretching can be better than stretching on your own when SoFlo Health returns.
Welcome back to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Frankie. This is Tony. He's a professional pool player, and he teaches you how as well. We're at Beyond Billiards, and we're learning some intermediate skills today and just some random questions we want answered. So I have a question for you, Tony. What are these dots that I see around the table?
These are what we call diamonds, and the reason why they're called diamonds, even though they're shaped like a circle, is because back in the days when they used to manufacture tables, these would be in a diamond shape.
Okay.
Nowadays it's circles.
What are they for?
This is to try to figure out what we call kick shots. A kick shot is when the cue ball comes off the rail to hit an object ball.
Okay.
So the system that I have here is we will start at 0. The pocket would be 0 because that's where the ball that I'm trying to pocket is. And from here to the first diamond is 10. So we're going 10 points, 20, 30, 40. So if the cue ball is in 40 and you want to pocket that 8 ball, you divide it in half on the opposite rail. So that's 0, 10, 20. So we're going to get hit 20, high above the center, no side spin. You just hit that 20 mark, and that should make the 8 ball.
And it does. Keep watching SoFlo Health for more tips from Tony. I'm now joined by Dr. Fox of ORA Dermatology. Dr. Fox, thanks for spending time with us today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Of course, dermatology, you're dealing with the skin, but what do you deal with on a regular basis?
One of the main things we find in Miami, due to all the sun that we experience, is skin cancer.
What are some things that we can do about skin cancer?
First, go to the dermatologist once a year for their skin checks. Sunscreen that has an SPF of 30 or above. I personally prefer a mineral sunscreen. In addition to that, wearing sun-safe clothing and avoiding the sun in the middle of the day between, let's say, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
When it does come to skin cancer, what are the major ones that you deal with on a regular basis?
We'll do melanoma first, the A, B, C, D, E's when it comes to melanoma.
Okay.
So A is asymmetry, B is that it has borders that are irregular, C is colors, that if it has multiple colors, D is diameter, if the diameter is more than 6 millimeters or the size of a pencil eraser, and then E is evolving. Anything that you've had and then it's starting to change, your dermatologist or myself will use what's called a dermatoscope, and it's a handheld device that allows us to peer into the skin that will clue us into doing the biopsy or not doing the biopsy.
What about basal cells and squamous cell, which are super common?
Basal cells, those will appear like a pink raised area that may be ulcerated, bleeding, and then squamous cell carcinomas, those are kind of like rough, scaly growths that can also be anywhere on sun-exposed skin. Vast majority of cases that we biopsy it and we make a treatment plan for you. We will remove the tumor and you'll be cured. I mean, most of the time when I see patients and they have, let's say, a basal cell carcinoma, what I tell them is, you know, you have the best cancer there is because
what a thing to say. Yeah.
because it's really not that dangerous, okay? But if you don't come in and have it treated, that's when you can have problems.
On a lighter note, what are some other things that you deal with?
In Miami, cosmetics are definitely a big thing that people come to the dermatologist for. It could be fillers, and then people also come in for hair loss. We have lots of tools in our toolbox nowadays to treat acne, in addition to other rashes like psoriasis.
Dr. Fox, thanks so much. Is there anything else you think we should know or you'd like to share?
The sun that you get when you're a child has the biggest impact on your risk for skin cancer and getting wrinkles and changes to your skin when you're an adult. If you have children, please make sure that you're keeping them safe. Let them be active, but give them sunscreen, hats, and so on to protect themselves.
And if they'd like to speak with the dermatologist, how can they?
OraDermatology.com. You can also call the phone number, which is 305-239-9191, and you can actually text message the phone number, which makes it really easy to use and make appointments.
Dr. Fox, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, it was my pleasure, and thank you for having me.
Of course. Tony, next question. What's this?
This is what we call the mechanical bridge. This is the bridge that we use whenever we have a shot that we cannot reach. For example, look where the 1 boy is, look where the cue boy is. So since the table is 9 feet long, I'm only 5'8", I can't reach a shot. When I teach my students how to use a mechanical bridge, I tell them to hold the cue stick like you would a dart. If you're throwing a dart, look at the throwing motion right here.
Right.
Just like that. So you hold it like this, and the bridge can go pretty much anywhere, but you want to keep it out of the way. You see how my stick doesn't move? Then what you do is you line up by putting your head over the stick, 1, 2 warm-up strokes, and shoot.
Nice. So it's very similar to when you showed us to keep your head over the cue when you're holding it, but you do the same thing with the bridge.
That's correct.
Thanks, Tony.
Sometimes you wake up feeling a bit tight, or maybe you need something extra after a workout, or you might even know that flexibility is very important for a long and healthy life. In any case, let's find out more from Mago at Stretch Lab.
This is Mago. He's a flexologist. What's a flexologist?
It's the person that is going to do all the flexing for you.
What is this device?
This is our technology. It's a technology we use to read your body today and your mobility, and to look for things that are challenges,
Okay.
or things that we work on the bench.
And I also see that it's mapping me out right
Yes.
now. So let's do that and then get to the stretching.
Okay.
Perfect.
You're just going to raise your hands up and going down on a deep squat, as deep as you can, 3 times. Second time and third time. Lower your arms slowly and leave them like that. It reads, wow, look at that.
Look
Very
at me.
good.
Look at me.
Mobility, it says that your shoulders maybe are a little tight.
They're very tight, yes.
So we'll see how that expresses on the bench.
Great. All right, Mago, what's next?
Well, we're gonna get you stretched. You're gonna lay on your back.
Okay.
We want the stretch to be efficient, but not overwhelming.
Got it.
Okay, so from 0 to 10, 7 is what we're looking for. I'm gonna bring your knee towards your chest. And
Okay.
you're gonna tell me when you feel it up to a 7 in that scale of tension. So let's start there.
Or yeah, I would say we're at like a 5 here. 5,
Okay,
6, yeah.
good. All right. So what we're gonna do now, you're going to take a big inhale.
Okay.
And press towards my chest
Okay.
with your foot.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, release. So that's the technique we use here.
Okay.
Pushing and releasing.
Got it.
Every time I'll ask you to push during 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And then on the release, I increase the stretch.
You're always in communication with the flexologist, making sure that there's never any pain when we're doing anything. It's a really gentle progress and program that we build for you to have kind of a maintenance for your body.
Where can people go to find out more information?
So our website, stretchlab.com, or come see us in Midtown. Our door's always open. Just walk in and we'll have you booked for a session with a flexologist.
What would you say is the most beneficial part of this for anybody that takes part in it?
Increased mobility and flexibility. I think it's the 2 main benefits that people would get.
Got it. And plus, nobody likes to feel bunched up and tight all the time anyway.
No, of course, we don't move enough and we don't stretch enough, so that's why we're here for.
Great. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Come right back for more from Tony Robles, the pool pro, and important information about swim safety in Broward after the break on SoFlo Health.
Welcome back to SoFlo Health. I'm Hunter Frankie. We're still at Beyond Billiards. This is Tony, who's been schooling us all day because he's the professional. Tony, what's next?
Side spin.
Sure.
So remember when I said earlier that same angle in usually equals same angle out? We use the diamonds to establish a line.
Which are these along here?
That's correct. So the problem is that the diamond is being blocked by the 11 ball.
Okay.
So what I learned years ago is side spin. Side spin is when you hit the cue ball on the horizontal axis. So if you hit it to the right and it comes off the rail, it will come off to the right and vice versa if you hit it to the left.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is if I were to shoot this ball dead center and hit it, the cue ball is going to hit the rail and come back in a straight line towards my stick, right? But if I were to hit it, if the cue ball were a clock at 3 o'clock, it's going to come off the bottom rail and then widen the angle coming off the rail and go head towards the 8. Just like that.
Simple. These have been intermediate tips, and we've got some terminology coming for you in just a bit. So we're talking about pool safety. The fact is, water is everywhere in South Florida, but pools are also everywhere in South Florida. So why is it important for people to know about drowning prevention practices?
It's important to keep our homes to be water smart and to add barriers to be able to prevent kids from drowning.
Yes, and the pool here behind us has one of those barriers. What does something like this do to help prevent drowning?
Yeah, so this is a pool fence, which is one of the great essentials of having a pool is to put up a pool fence so that we can keep kids out from entering pools, especially when it's not swimming time.
Yeah, and the last time that we visited with you, we also spoke to a lifeguard who told us about not swimming alone.
Right.
Because even experienced swimmers can have something take place and they need somebody around to be able to help them if possible.
Exactly. It's always good to have a water watcher when you're going to swim. So some adult and who's going to stay out of the pool and watch the kids while the kids are swimming and having a good time.
Right.
So this is not somebody who's in the water, not someone who's tanning or on their phone or listening to music. This is someone who's going to directly have their attention on the kids who are playing in the pool.
And it's a good idea to do that too, even for another adult, just to have somebody around keeping tabs on you because something could happen.
Correct, and even we've seen cases where even some of the best of swimmers become drowning victims just because something unexpected happens.
Yeah.
So it's always good to have somebody there.
Yeah, but fortunately you're here to help prevent that. So tell me, what else should people do to keep safe around the pool?
So something else that they can do to stay safe around the pool is to always, at their home pools, they can add door alarms on their windows and doors that will alert them if they're in another room or something like that. When the doors are opened, they make an alarm sound that will alert somebody, and so then they'll know to respond to that emergency. Getting into swim lessons at an early age is definitely crucial. And so there are swim lesson programs all over Broward County that you can get involved in. And like I said, I'm just going to say it again, another resource that we have here is if you go to watersmartbroward.org, you can apply for a swim lesson coupon. And swim lesson coupons are up to age 8 years old, and you can start applying for them as early as 6 months.
When it comes to drowning prevention in general, but especially with kids, what are some steps we can take?
So we want to be sure, one thing that's important is that when we're actually done swimming in your pool, you want to make sure that you collect and you take those toys out of the pool. Because we don't want to leave anything that entices kids to go get a toy that might have fallen in the pool. And then you want to make sure that when you're done, that pool fence is closed so that the child is not even able to get in there as well. And there's nothing enticing the child to be able to go and get in the water.
Now, of course, the pool is the obvious location for drownings to take place, but around the home there are some other risks. What are those?
So there are some other risks just in the home. So mop buckets is definitely one. You want to make sure you don't leave mop buckets on the ground. Another one is ensuring that you put your toilet seats down and make sure that when the bathroom is not in use that the door is closed. And you also want to make sure when it's bath time that kids aren't taking baths by themselves and that there's not any other large amounts of water that are around the home that kids could get into, especially when we are not in the direct vicinity of, or it's not being monitored.
Now, of course, drowning isn't exactly what people might think of it as their head. It's not somebody going, help, help, help. What does drowning actually sound like?
Right. So drowning can happen in several different ways. You know, that an active drowning victim is not going to always be screaming or calling out for help like we see in a lot of movies and situations. It's very quiet, and it can happen in a matter of seconds.
And if people would like to learn more, how can they?
So you can go to our website, which is watersmartbroward.org, and you can look at the informational resources that we have on our website, as well as apply for a swim lesson coupon for the child.
What a beautiful thing.
Yes, it's a great thing. Great resource.
Well, Warner, thanks a lot. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Now, if you head to a pool hall, you're going to wonder, what do I call everything? I want to be hip with the lingo. So what do I call all of this?
Well, this is the cue ball.
Yep.
This is the object ball.
Okay.
This is what we call a cushion or a rail.
Okay.
Right? This is a rack. Right?
And of course, we're holding a cue.
This is a chalk. Cue stick. Any other questions?
Yeah, what about this corner here?
Oh, that's
Oh. Welcome back to SoFlo Health and Beyond Billiards. This is Tony. If you're just joining us for the end of the show, then you're in for a treat because this next thing is not beginner, it's not intermediate, it's just very specialized. I actually thought it was a trick, and you might have thought as well, but Tony, that's the jump shot, correct?
That's correct. And what we do in order to execute a jump shot, we use a special 40-inch cue. And the reason why I use a shorter cue is because it's lighter, and by having a lighter cue, you're able to accelerate with more speed, so that way you can hit the cue ball with more speed and get it to elevate and jump over the blocking object ball.
Okay,
Right?
can you
so
show
this
us?
is what it looks like.
That's
There you
great.
have it.
Tony, thank you so much.
Thank you, Hunter.
Of course. I learned a lot, and I hope everyone at home did as well. But if they want to learn even more, how can they?
You can go to beyondbilliardsfl.com to find out more about Beyond Billiards. If you're interested in private or corporate events, you can contact me at tonyrobles.com.
Thanks, Tony. That's all for this week's episode of SoFlo Health. Let's see what's on the next SoFlo Health. We'll tackle the humidity in South Florida and find out how it affects your health. Plus, if you bring mangoes to this smoothie bar, they'll give you a discount and make you a mango-nificent meal. As always, if you missed previous episodes of SoFlo Health and you'd like to catch up, you can do so using SoFloShows.com. You can also follow us using @SoFlo Health to share with us what you're doing to stay healthy. Until next week, it's goodbye and good health.